Welcome.
Welcome to the Everything podcast, and again I need to issue an apology for there being no episode yesterday, but today when I'm recording there was a compilation video but not a new animated episode. Me and Matthew are working very hard to try and hope that those gaps, if they do happen, they don't happen very often, and if they do, that they just they're one day things, which these past two have been. It wasn't like when there was a week of no episode. So yes, but in this episode I'm going to be reviewing the Big Finish era of Class 2.1 titled Everybody Loves Reagan. But before I get to my review, it's time for the class list, which, similar to Volume 1 of Class Big Finish, is of the whole box set rather than individual stories. So we have Greg Austin as Charlie, Fede Alciad as Ram, Sophie Hopkins as April, Vivian Opera as Tanya, Jordan Renzo as Mateus, Catherine Kelly as Miss Quill, Sophie Aldred as Ace, Nicholas Briggs as the Daleks, Ty Atwell as Regan, Anson Boone as Peter, Shran Marks as Michelle, and Wolf Scolding as Chris. Everybody Loves Reagan was written by Tim Foley and directed by Scott Hancock. The synopsis is: when Reagan Harper joins Coal Hill Academy, everybody instantly loves her, everybody except for April. Is there really more to Reagan than meets the eye, or are there other forces at work in Coal Hill? Everybody Loves Reagan and Class Volume 2, similar to Class Volume 1, was released in August 2018. What? Oh, right. Now this is going to be, because I haven't written my opinion notes down, so this is going to be interesting. I loved seeing more of April's and Tanya's relationship. Obviously hearing it, obviously, with its audio, because this is the first story that both April and Tanya are in, I believe. Obviously we heard Ram and Tanya before, so it was interesting. There wasn't many scenes of that, and obviously the character of Reagan was very interesting. And the behind the scenes interviews are nice as well, because it's an extra little bit. But without further ado, here's my review of the Big Finish era of Class 2.1 titled Everybody Loves Reagan. Ram hears April humming to herself. April and Ram discuss April's mental health club. April's mental health club is called Buddy Scheme. Ram compares this name to 1990s sitcoms. Ram reminds April about the amount of coursework they need to complete. April forgets about Ram's football diet. April informs Ram of a volunteering role which would require her to spend 3 months in Switzerland. Ram insults Switzerland. Ram repeatedly refuses to be vulnerable with April. Ram and Reagan introduce themselves to each other. We then have the amazing title sequence. I didn't write that down, I just think, because it is a really good title sequence. I really like it. Reagan introduces herself to April. April tells Reagan about the volunteering role she wants to apply for and would involve spending 3 months in Switzerland. April tells Tanya... Oh, come on, there we go. April tells Tanya about a conversation with Reagan. Tanya and April mention Miss Quill's personality. Tanya explains her frustrations about surprise tests to April and Ram. Tanya also reveals she's friends with Reagan. Tanya corrects April on how long Reagan has been a student at Coal Hill School. April compares her conversation with Reagan to her first conversation with Charlie in episode 1 of the TV show. Ram explains his encounter with Reagan to April. April recounts what happened to her last night to Ram. Ram reminds April how in love Charlie and Mateus currently are in with each other. April is looking for the school counsellor. April finds the school counsellor barely alive. Reagan tells April about a conversation with the school counsellor. April expresses her dislike for Reagan to Reagan. April tells Tanya about her most recent encounter with Reagan. Ram backs Tanya's story about Reagan to April. April gives the last slice of a cake to Ram. April explains her baking ability to Ram. April asks Ram to not walk to school with Reagan tomorrow. Ram agrees. April pretends to be someone she's not to get the truth about Reagan. April references Tanya hacking into UNIT, which stands for Unified Intelligence Task Force, featured in Doctor Who since the 1970s. Ram calls April bonkers. Tanya yells at April, following April continuing to be suspicious of Reagan. Reagan is now running the mental health club that April started. Reagan disputes this when April confronts her about it. The school counsellor has... Come on, computer, what are you doing now? Come on. There we go. The school counsellor has been suspended. April leaves a voicemail for Ram. Ram reminds April about his and Reagan's long-lasting friendship. Ram forgets his girlfriend, Rachel, who was killed in episode 1 again of the TV show. Ram snaps at April. April rings her mother. April also rings Tanya. Tanya compliments Reagan to April. Tanya references the episode's title, which is obviously Everybody Loves Reagan. Tanya hangs up on April. Reagan checks on April. April declines Reagan's help. A Reagan love fest takes place. Reagan runs the club she stole from April. Reagan reveals her true self during the club. Ram finds out that April was telling the truth about Reagan all along. Ram remembers spending time with his ex-girlfriend Rachel. Ram asks April to stay on the phone with him. Ram feels for April's safety. April discovers the location of Reagan's mental health club. April calls an ambulance. Reagan finds April. April tells Ram about Reagan looking for her. Ram swears. Ram attempts to get April to meditate. Reagan reveals how she's manipulating memories to April. Reagan also reveals she's from Manchester, the planet. April explains to Reagan why some stress is good. Ram attacks Reagan. April tries to calm herself down. Ram references an event featured in the TV show. Reagan finds April and Ram. Ram continues to remember his time with Rachel. Ram collapses when April tells Reagan about her life. April finds Reagan crying in the toilet. Reagan pleads with April to not force her to return home. Tanya gives a cake to April. Tanya apologises to April. Ram repeats what he said to April in this episode's opening scene. That's it for my review, and that's onto the behind the scenes stuff. So Scott Hancock, who's the director of, I think, all of the episodes of Big Finish era of Class. So for all Class, Big Finish, whichever you prefer, up to this point. And I think he also produces them as well. Talks to Vivian about reprising her role of Tanya. Scott also talks to a guest actor featured this episode, Fadi, who plays Ram, mentions how he interacts with his friends, and that is my review of Class Big Finish 2.1, titled Everybody Loves Reagan. But next time on the Everything Podcast, I'll be covering Class Big Finish 2.2, titled Now You Know. It is the trailer for Class Volume 2, which obviously features some bits from this episode as well. Here it is. Oh, for the review I talked about. Come on.
Please don't tell me you know the doctor.
Yes, you too.
Yes. He's a pain and not to be relied on.
Yep, she knows him.
Coming soon from Big Finish Productions. Class, Volume 2.
Reagan Harper!
Oh, just a moment. Oh, hey, April. Do you want to talk?
Please, it's too much. I want to go home.
You're bonkers, but I kind of like it.
Right, mate.
A large, dangerous organic compound detected.
Please, if you kill me, Rhodia, all of it was for nothing.
Run! Obviously.
Big Finish. We love stories.
Now you know what it's like.
That was the trailer for Volume 2 of Class Big Finish. There's a number. There is 4 classes, 4 volumes of Class, plus an extra one, and maybe more to come, we don't know. We hope so, especially with the last episode, which I will get to soonish. being kind of quite open-ended and kind of going past season 1 and what could have been season 2. Anyway, that's more than a couple of episodes away. But back to this episode. Let me know what you thought about Class Big Finish 2.1. Everybody loves Reagan. If you listened to it, I really said watch though. And my review if you didn't. Put your comments on both of those in the comments below, as well as anything else you want me to cover on the show. It could be a review suggestions, so it could be for a TV show, or a movie. It could also be review suggestions for books or comics you would like me to talk about as well, or it could be some news about your favourite TV show or movie as well. Put them in the comments below as well. Remember, you can also like, comment and subscribe. And that's it for this episode of the Everything Podcast. Goodbye.